it might be Rotary 5230. So if they want to send the chat to me, or they could put it up on the everyone, just to clarify.
Okay.
I'm not listed as Susan.
Yeah, ironically, this is the only group that I work with that uses GoToMeeting. So this is actually my first use of it as well. From this aspect, I've been in your position, I'm a member, a viewer, but not a host. So as I was telling Susan yesterday, our good friend Murphy is always present. And even though we tested this yesterday and I tested it this morning, most likely Murphy will at some point show up. And so I just asked us to be gracious hosts and allow Murphy to make their appearance and then their exit, because this is IT. It's going to happen. So any questions about the overall flow before we get started? I'm going to speak 5 to 8 minutes. You're going to chat to 5230. Susan's going to review, read the questions that she thinks are relevant. If clarification is needed, the poser of the question will be asked to unmute and clarify. Again, trying to really keep the time going, because I think there's a lot, and again, skill levels will vary. Okay, so it's 9:05. Going to get started now. My name is Peter Fortuna. I work at Fresno State as an information technology consultant. Right now, my focus is on accessibility. And having said that, this is not going to be fully accessible, but I will be taking this and then adding captions so people that are hearing impaired will be able to read it. So that's what accessibility means. My focus at Fresno State right now is making sure our websites can be used by people that have different abilities. Okay, and then I'm project management certified from the Project Management Institute. So I like to work on stuff that's long term. And personally, my background is in sports, so I like challenges and just constantly learning, which is why I kind of fell in love with IT and project management. So having said that, the whole point of this is to help our team at Rotary collaborate better online with others using technology, and as much as possible, always discussing safety. So this is what the session is going to be about. IT tips on how to collaborate safely online with other Rotarians. Okay, so let's go really quick through our guest list, and I just need a general feeling of our computer skills. So I don't know everyone on this meeting. Let's see. How about we go with, and forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Junso?
I think I'm muted.
You've been unmuted. So, Junso, what do you feel your computer skill level is? A beginner, intermediate, advanced?
Intermediate.
Okay. Thank you. Anne, how is your computer skill level?
Well, when you say cloud-based and collaborating online, I think I have a lot to learn.
Okay. So beginner, maybe?
You can put me down as a beginner. I can't believe that after all these years, but yes. Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go on to Terry. Missed the button. There you go.
Terry here, Cultural Arts Rotary Club, Fresno. I am probably intermediate. Email, cloud, I'm familiar with. Collaboration, not so much, and moving stuff around, that kind of thing. So I'd say intermediate.
Great, thank you. And if we have any people in the social field, I think I should have done a rating 1 through 5 instead of beginner intermediate. So Greg, let's unmute Greg. On a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being, you know, very comfortable, what number do you think you are, Greg? Greg may not be able to respond. Oh, there he goes.
There I am. Okay, yeah, I'm somewhere in the area of between a 3 and 4. Sorry, I thought you had unmuted me.
Okay, thank you, Greg. 3 and 4. Okay. So I'm going to go to hopefully John.
I'd say a 3.
A 3. Thank you, John. Barbara, we're going to go to you next. What skill level do you think you are, Barbara, as far as, yeah.
I'm around a 4.
Great. All right. And we got John. Let's go next to Jeff.
I say I'm a 3, but learning a lot. I just did my first meeting yesterday using Zoom with screen sharing, and that was kind of a little, kept me moving while I was talking and trying to move the screens around. So I'd say a 3.
Okay, thank you. As I'm thinking too, I have a new Mac and I have trouble moving my screens around often as well. Because I'm learning how to use the Mac better. We're going to go to Sherry next. So that's something else that I should have asked. We won't go back and ask, but I'm currently using a Mac. Most of the features that we're talking about can be used with PC or Mac, but there will be difference. And this is why I'm talking about trying to move quickly, getting your questions down, because we can always answer them later, and then moving through. So I made a note to myself with my Post-it to remember next time to ask about the operating system. Sherry, what is your skill level, Sherry?
I'm going to say 3 to 4, closer to the 4, and I use both PC and Mac. Right now I'm on a Mac.
Thank you. And we're going to go to Dan and then Leslie. Dan? What is your skill level, Dan, and PC or Mac? Leslie, while Dan is checking on his audio, what is your skill level and platform? Okay, we're going to go next to Manta and Robert. Manta first. Manta, what is your skill level?
This is Monterey Peninsula Sunrise Club. I would say 3, and I use a Mac.
Thank you. Robert?
I would say I'm 3 to 4. I use both a PC and a Mac, and I'm currently on a PC.
Thank you. And then the user's me. We're going to go next to Bruce, Mark, and then Bernsey. We're going to go ahead with Bruce first. On a scale from 1 to 5, Bruce, what do you think your skill level is, and are you a Mac or PC? Okay, Bruce may be having issues. We're going to go to Mark.
Yeah, I'm a 3, and I've always done a lot of Zoom meetings, but only on the receiving end, not the hosting end. So,
do you use a Mac or PC primarily?
PC.
Thank you. Bernsey? Okay, I think we skipped Joy. Joy, what is your skill level? And are you Mac or PC?
I use a PC, and you don't even want to know what my skill level is. No, just kidding. I would say 5.
Excellent. Great. So one thing I should note too is I suggest the concept of train the trainer. So that's the idea of we get a local subject matter expert and we refer people to that person. So the people that are 3, that's why I wrote this down, 3, 4s, and 5s. They may be asked later to assist or create a list of commonly asked questions, frequently asked questions. Okay, so is there anybody that would like to say their skill level, or did I miss anyone? Okay, I got a good feeling, so I think we can move fairly quickly through this thing. We got about already 45 minutes to go. Again, you'll be sent more information later that will offer additional references and resources so you continue your learning, and then including like videos that you can look at or listen to, and hopefully written documents too. So one of the big things that technology is supposed to help with is the idea of collaboration and working more efficiently. One of the big challenges with that is we have 3 big concepts that if I feel if we don't address, bad things happen. So the first one is T. The next one is another T, and then a P. And this TTP stands for tools. Actually, I'm gonna use it better for us, TPP, instead of going the different route. So TPP, tools, process, and people. It won't help us too much if we use tools that are too pricey or no one knows how to use. It won't help too much if we have a hero type person, right, or a high skill person trying to do all the work, because if they win the lottery or they switch clubs or whatever happens, they take off, something happens, they get promoted, they move away, it all goes bye-bye. Then straight up people, again, they can switch clubs. Anytime we collaborate, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be honest conflict, there's going to be miscommunication. And so that's why I really stress putting a process in place to document the stuff so that those problems and conflicts are less frequent and less intense and less personal and less emotional, because you guys can just go, look, this is what we wrote. If you didn't understand it, why not? This was the intent, and then just go from that, because working together is challenging. Okay, so one of the first things I suggest is, telling a story. So you have, I'm just going to go with the leadership structure. You have a president who wants to do things in their year, or you have a director. But for ease, to remember things, I'm going to suggest the letter P for president, right? And so we have a president. And so this is what I would suggest you write down P, and we'll call our president Pauline, right? And underneath, you could write president so you can track with me, right? So we have a president Pauline, who wants to collaborate and do projects. But unfortunately, in the time of COVID, the fact that Rotarians are busy, business owners, highly active, getting people together is difficult. So right now we are doing this by using Zoom. But if we were doing a business meeting or a project planning meeting, talking about it is great, but doing the documentation is necessary so that we can do the follow-up and we can hit the metrics or the agreed upon goals of the project program or intent. So Pauline has a need to collaborate online. Pauline talks with a Rotarian whose vocation is IT. And she tells Pauline, hey, there's all kinds of ways of doing it, but in my opinion, the simplest way is setting up a Gmail account. Here's a term you may not know, role-based, a role-based Gmail account. Okay? So I just talked about 5 to 10 minutes. Susan, do we have any questions from the group so far?
Right now, we do not have questions. We've had several people weigh in with where they're from, their skill level, and what type of computer they're using, and I've recorded that. So no questions so far.
And thank you for anticipating that. Again, Murphy just showed up. I forgot to ask you to do that, so thank you. So Pauline decides, because Pauline doesn't have time to investigate everything, she takes it on faith. So she takes it on faith that there's other options, but she is going to just take the vocational suggestion for a Gmail account setup. So just to show you, this is what I mean. I have role-based accounts for different things that I do. All Gmail, because it's easier for me to use Gmail, even though I kind of in a lot of ways prefer Microsoft Office 365 for advanced features, but for collaboration, Gmail is the fastest, easiest way. So we're going to go and create a fictional Rotary Club on a Gmail account. So I'm going to create Gmail account. And again, this would be a step one you might want to write down, make Gmail account role-based. So I'm clicking, click account, and there's different ways of setting up. Just doing it really quick, I'm just going to call it, just because I'm just doing it really quick. My last name, Rotary Club. And so here is where you would probably want to go password, right? Password management. This drives people nuts. This is a topic that if you need help with, you're going to want to email me or Susan, please take notes. If anyone has questions on project management or password management, send Susan a chat so that I can focus my time and response on the greatest requests. So password management. So I'm creating a password and I'm clicking next. Of course, mistype it. So again, every time I do this, I become left-handed and I can't do anything. It's like, I can't type. Okay, so Google Voice. You may want to write a post-it notes or a note to yourself. One of the nice things about the Gmail family of products is that you get a product called Google Voice, if you choose to, so that your club can get a telephone number, a virtual telephone number dedicated to itself. The other, and I'll show you this in a second, but it does cause problems because it takes over a cell phone. And that's something, again, that if you have questions on that and the suggested best practices, you're going to want to put a message to Susan. I do this trick. I don't like to give out my birthday. So I'm a New Year's baby born in 1980 for all these types of accounts. And again, that would be, that doesn't bother me. Some people it might bother, so you can answer however you want. So then it sends a beat. This is called two-step authentication. This is a security feature. If that word I just said, you don't know what it means, again, you may want to write it down and put a chat for Susan to have a vote system. Again, the skill levels are very different, and it is, no one is being, we're ignorant, not stupid. So ignorant is where you don't know something, but you can't, Now, if you look at the screen, it says you got more information, receive video calls and messages. So both Office 365 and Google have that feature. We're going quick, so I'm just going to click yes. This is the terms of use that no one ever reads. If you're really curious, you may want to read it. I've read it before. You can't modify it, so I'm just going to say okay. And if you don't agree, you can't continue. So now this is where it gets pretty cool, because now Pauline, our president, has this whole suite right here, pointing to you like you can see my hand, this whole suite of tools built into the role-based Gmail account that we're calling the Rotary Club of Fortuna. Okay, so I have got a YouTube account created automatically in addition to my email. There is a war going on right. There is a market created right now for online applications for meeting. Google Hangouts, which you may have never heard about, is built into your role-based Google account for President Pauline. Pauline, our president, also gets a built-in calculator. Pauline, our president, who's organizing these sessions and projects, also has a built-in translator. Pauline, our president, also has now the ability to store low resolution photos online for free that can be shared later. And that is a benefit if you have the Gmail family of applications on your phone. I do not have an iPhone currently. Fresno State, I'm broke. But I do have an iPad. It does operate a little differently than that. And that's why I was asking, I should have remembered the OSs. And now again, Susan, for the next time, I need to ask about mobile devices. Okay, so I need mobile devices. But again, our president now, in one simple task of creating a role-based account, has laid the IT infrastructure for online collaboration at a very awesome level with high usage. So most people will be familiar with this. Some people, again, I have a Hotmail account. Okay, so that's from like 1993. I was the second person in my high school to get dial-up. And if you don't know what dial-up means, okay, so this is all done for Google, via Google. So I'm going to the email account. And so now you could, what I suggest for this portion is now, Pauline, stop using Pauline's personal email, and Pauline creates a signature. I'm going to write it down because we don't have time to cover it. A signature. You can Google it and look it up, but if you're not familiar with what I'm referring to, write down signature. Chat Susan will respond, and use this role-based account again instead of the personal, because Pauline is not a dictator, right? And she's gonna the next year relinquish the service year she has to our next serving president. And now Pauline, back to password management, would give the password to the next president. There's also email forwarding or email copying. Might want to write it down, Chat Susan, where I call it the Three Musketeers. Your current president, your past president, and then was it elect, right? You may want to always copy those three when anything is sent from this email, and encourage people to send any emails related to the club to the president. Now you can get fancy and create multiple role-based email accounts for your club. One thing that you need to think of, one thing I suggest you think about is what's called naming conventions, right? You wouldn't want to have, with our fictional Rotary Club, Rotary Fortunas, that's the name of the club. You wouldn't want to have RF president and then have Rotary Fortuna Club period VP. You see what I'm saying? Naming conventions. We don't have a lot of time to go over that. So again, I'm trying to get 8 minutes in, but I'm going about 10. I spoke about 10 minutes. Susan, do we have any questions that are timely for this portion?
We have one person asking about the password management. We have another person who asked the question, wanting to know how you feel about the LastPass application for password organization.
Okay, so we have two questions on the topic password management. Okay, so those are discussions that will take 10 to 15 minutes by themselves. So Susan, just document that we had two people request password management, and then briefly one asked about LastPass, and then I'll respond. So there's always the problem. This is like weight management, working out, piano playing. And this is the way I'm kind of drawn to it. It's constant. So you always have to. I recommend very few tools or companies to use as possible. Okay. Having said that, password management, we're good. We didn't seem to have any questions on the associated family of products. Here comes the interesting parts now. Okay. So
Peter.
Yes.
Okay, I've had a couple pop-ups since we paused.
Okay.
So someone is asking if you can import club contacts from DAPDB.
So note that Google allows for importing of contacts. Off the top of my head, I do not know if DACDB does, but I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, you can, because you can download your club members' information in an Excel format, and you can download and get the email addresses of your club members. But again, that's a step. If you need help, if anybody needs help exporting contacts from exporting contacts from DACDB, please chat Susan now so that I can focus my time on the most requested steps. So having said that, yes, you will be able to export and import your contacts from DACDB into the Google family, as well as the Microsoft 365 family if you want to. Because to be honest, in a way, I almost feel like as Rotarians, we should petition Bill Gates and Microsoft to give us Microsoft Office 365. And I'm thinking about doing a project or some kind of grant doing something like that. But that's me. And I also would, I'm off topic, but I also would like to request from a university access to the software in that we can create a partnership with the university systems and service projects, Rotary projects. Okay, so back on topic. Pauline, our president, wants to collaborate with other people. Pauline doesn't have the time to invest on this research. She's ignorant, not stupid. She's busy, not silly, blah, blah, blah. She got advice, created a Gmail account. She's created a role-based Gmail account. Again, you can create multiple Gmail accounts based on the role and the need. So treasury, public relations, IT support, training. Those are the types of role-based accounts you may want to think about. So I have a Rotary account already. I'm going to pretend I'm the IT person. So Pauline sends me, an email. By the way, you may want to write down my peter.fortuna.rotary@gmail.com email address if you need help. But again, I would prefer us to capture as much in the chat. See what I produce after the session. And then if questions aren't answered, then you can email me. So our leader is Pauline, President Pauline, and she's sending an email from our presidential or club account for the Rotary Club of Fortuna. I probably should have named it something different now that I think about it, but too late. So I always suggest that you copy the club itself, right? And then you say naming convention. So you may want to have subject stuff, right? Or shorten things. So this might be, I'm just going to see, this is why I'm saying I should have named it something different. Rotary Club, Fortuna Club, IT email setup. And I like to put the subject again in the body because people have different devices and it displays differently. So now she sends it off. This has been, so I failed something here. I forgot to mention I'm using Chrome. So I'm using a browser, Chrome. I'm using Chrome because it gives me the built-in feature of allowing me to combine my Gmail accounts into one login. This is, so email account security is a big topic. You may want to write it down, chat Susan, and you may want to specifically, if you don't know what I'm referring to with the ability to log into multiple accounts on the Chrome browser, you may want to ask or post that to Susan so that I can focus my time. I'm able to switch on the browser between my Rotary Gmail account, role-based, to my Pauline personality role-based club account. So I suggest doing this again because now you have an historical email archival online. I suggest creating a role-based account with Google or Microsoft 365 because it gives you photo storage. So now we're going to be pausing a second. Does everyone understand, Susan, so far? Any questions related to the story we're telling with Pauline?
Yes.
Okay.
We just wanted to, we have one person who wants to confirm that we would be passing the account to the next president at the end of the year.
These are suggestions, not commands. This is what I would suggest. I would say is a best practice. But it is by no means an order, and this is not a mandate, policy, dictate from Rotary International, or none of this is an order issue mandate from Rotary International, Rotary 5230, or any Rotary club. This is vocational member Peter Fortuna making suggestions that I think would help you based on his experience at Fresno State and helping this with all kinds of different clubs.
And then we have several people interested in learning how to export, import contacts from DAC-DB.
Okay, so we'll respond to that later offline. So we're telling a story. Now, Pauline is working with, unfortunately, a guy named Peter. So that means my P's aren't going to work very well. So let's do this. Mike, we're going to make up a member, Mike. And Mike wants to work with her, right? No, we're just going to stick with the story. It's me and Pauline. Next time I'll probably use like maybe an L for the leader or something. But let's go with Pauline and Peter. Pauline just sent me the email. I got the email. Good job. We're good, right? So now here's where Pauline is going to really start to use the power of the cloud and collaboration. This is where it gets awesomer, I guess. So now we're using the Gmail family. Again, you have all these apps, all these software, all these tools by clicking the waffle grid menu. Account management, again, you can change that R, right, to a different picture, right? If you need help, chat Susan. This is how you tell the difference, is what I'm trying to get across, so that I'm not using the Google Drive, the online cloud, as Peter. I'm using it as our president, Pauline. So Pauline got to that screen again by clicking the waffle menu and then Drive. This web page now opened up and it says a place for all your files. It is. You can store all your files here. There's a paid version called G Suite that gives you more features, but everything I'm showing you is free. So now she created this online storage for her files. It says you can use Microsoft Office files, or you can use the Google Docs, Sheets, and other applications that are copies of Microsoft or similar to Microsoft products. So now we're getting into our a challenging point now. Remember, our tools, our process, and our people. Our 3, 4, and 5 Rotarian members, as far as computer skill, will have probably no problem understanding what Google's Docs, Sheets, and Slides are. Our 1, 2s, and 3s may have challenges. I'm just going to show you the Google software because this is a business relationship between Microsoft and Google. And in the past, it didn't work very well. And you had to do additional steps to get it to work. If you did it wrong, you created copies of things, which would break the system. Okay, so now we're talking about the cloud, right? We're not going to really discuss the Microsoft Office files that you can use with the Google products. We're just going to focus on the Google Sheets, Docs, and Slides, always considering our tools, processes, and people, and then security. You do not want to store your passwords on any of these documents outright. This is password management. Again, I will discuss that later. Hashes. For our 4s and 5s, you can use these documents in part with a hashed password. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. So moving on, now we're talking about our online storage. She emailed me. Pauline emailed me. I have now known she's doing this. I would suggest that you create folders for your year of work. This is a naming convention. This is a suggestion, not command. And then in here, so now we're talking about collaboration. In here, there's different permission levels. We don't have time to dive into permission levels. If you do not know what permission levels are, which I anticipate many of us do not, so we're going to write a document on that. But still, if you would chat Susan so that we can appropriately time our responses or invest our time to respond quickly. So here, in review, Pauline, president, is using a role-based account, rotary.fortuna@gmail. Pauline, our president, clicked the waffle menu, and Pauline, our president, went to the software application Drive. Clicked on that. This opened up. Pauline, our president, created a folder for our year 2020. We are now in our year 2020 folder. Pauline is going to use Google Docs. For our 1, 2s, and 3s, Google Docs is Google's version of Microsoft Office's Microsoft Word. And this is great. Thanks, IT Peter. So she just wrote me a letter. I'm clicking. I just named it. I click the share button, and now I'm going to share it with my Rotary-based email account. Click send. Over here on my Rotary-based Peter account, I click inbox. There, depending on what your email system is, it will show up in different folders or inboxes or labels or tags. For my Gmail account, it shows up in updates on invite. I say, okay, I got it. I know it's from Susan. I know it's from Pauline. I click open, and I'm now in it. And if you notice, I don't remember how to zoom the screen in really fast. Oh, of course. So right here, it says Rotary Fortuna. Notice, again, I was in Peter. I clicked the link. It took me to a new browser window. The icon now changed from me to President Pauline, but this is me, Peter, typing. But over here for President Pauline on the left, she's seeing the typing. So this is what's called co-authoring. So that's how you can create documents online and collaborate with other people. So now I close the document. I'm reopening it just to show you the changes showed up. And now Peter can always get in here and look at it. But what I would suggest is like this kind of stuff. I'm not going to list them all. This is just for quick reference. Those of you that are familiar with writing documents and stuff, I would suggest you create like a book online. So I'm inserting a table of contents, and then I'm using the built-in features like they have in Word to create a structure. And so I'm using what are called headings, and those of you that write or have done this kind of stuff, you'll see that it creates a structure. So again, I'm closing this on my President Pauline account. I'm going to this other browser again, that is my Peter IT account, and I see all the changes. Okay, so I did another 11 minutes. Susan, do we have any questions? Getting closer though.
Okay, we have a couple things that sort of relate back to what the last part that you did on security. From a security standpoint, is it better to communicate through the DACDB or using these email accounts?
DACDB is a company. Google's a company. They have federal restrictions and requirements, legal stuff they have to do. So in theory, they're supposed to be just as safe in a lot of ways. I have not vetted either one of them. I rely on experts to do that, and then I pick what I try to think of as the best experts. So in theory, they're both supposed to be safe. What typically happens with security breaches is people don't log out of the system. Again, I said don't store the passwords fully on these documents online. People will store them fully online. People will email the passwords. That's where the security typically comes in. Somebody had asked about LastPass. I was a user of LastPass, going on a sidebar, but I was a user of LastPass in the past, and there was an exposure of the data. And that, to me, isn't the problem. The problem was the delay in releasing the exposure information to the people that were affected. But Target's done that. Wells Fargo. I mean, it's a constant thing. That's why I keep saying try to keep it down as much as you can as far as the tools you use and the people that are given access to the tools, and then you document the process so that, again, conflict is reduced, all that stuff's reduced. So the quick answer is they should be as safe as each other.
Okay, and then we have two more here. For online storage, do you have a suggestion for a program to use for large files such as videos?
YouTube. So I suggest using YouTube.
Okay.
My son is here. Yes, son.
And then I think
side door open.
we have another question
second.
here, and I think we're going to have more of this type of thing.
So give me 1
Asking
second.
if we can have more training
Yes, it's okay.
on the sharing of Google Documents
The door's closed.
in Google and making sharing folders. And I think because we are starting to get short on time too, Peter, maybe you could ask them to chat me with topics that they would like to see related to tech, because there's so much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I've shown, so email Susan if you have questions like that. As far as video, that's the last part we're going to go over, because that's one of the big things with Rotary, right? So okay. So when you have this, we talked about photos. They get automatically uploaded when you use that account. Some of you will have the ability to have multiple accounts, like you'll have a secure folder, or the ability to make copies of your apps so that you can use a program as you and your role-based personality that store the videos for you, again, right here on the Google photo. But video is another thing, right? Because we want to promote our projects and programs. So this is now again, notice that I clicked and the picture changed. I have access and control the official Rotary District 5230 YouTube channel. So I click on this, I'm on the official, which you guys should subscribe to, right? I'm on the official Rotary District 5230, and here's our videos. Notice there's the upload post or video. So if you create your profile on your phone and you record a video, you access YouTube on your phone as your role-based personality, you click upload video, now you have a free online storage for your large videos that can be shared and worked on with other people. Sidebar, additional stuff, because you can assign collaborators in YouTube just like you can in Facebook and other things. So the question was video. My suggestion, YouTube through your role-based account. But again, we don't have time for all the other discussions, right? So how does Peter, this guy over here, share those videos? That's a workflow. There is a solution, again, but that's another 30-minute conversation on its own. So we're going to be wrapping up really quickly here. Again, I suggest you send your questions via chat to Susan so that we can capture them and focus our resources as far as time on the most asked questions or topics. As far as that goes, we're going to be ending fairly quickly here. Does anyone have any questions? I shouldn't have done that. Questions?
We have a question, is a YouTube account free?
Yes. Okay, so again, you may have an issue with YouTube file sizes. Write that down if you run into it. The file size will be restricted until your account is verified. So if you have, like this video here is an hour 32. Until your account is verified, I think the most you'll be able to load is like 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But there's workarounds for that too. So there's apps on your phone that you can edit video, chop it up, and all that kind of stuff. That's beyond the scope of this introductory. Here's some IT tips. Any other questions, team?
We have people who would like to have help with how to upload a video from a phone to YouTube.
So, yeah.
And also there was a question of where this class will be loaded to, or where the recording of the session will be, sorry, and it will be on the district website.
It will
So
be
if you want to go back and review.
Yeah, it will be on the district website as well as on the district YouTube channel, and probably my channel too. So again, I'm a Rotarian whose vocation is IT and project management and conflict resolution. I had to learn conflict resolution because of the IT and project management. So again, you will get frustrated. Allow yourself to have your emotions. Allow yourself to learn and not learn, and make it fun. It can be very stressful. So again, I'm here to help if you need help, but I do have limited time and resources. So again, try to get your stuff in the chat. I'll respond to all the messages in the chat based on the number of topics that are hit. And then if your answers aren't found there, then you can email me. Any other questions? It's 10 o'clock. Wow, we did really good.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, we're
super
officially
informational.
Over. Yeah, we're officially
And I think we're going to need you back.
Yeah, we're officially over at 10. I'll be here for another 10 minutes in case you have any questions that you didn't want to ask publicly. But again, we're Rotarians. You know, we should be very comfortable with each other. So I'll be here till 10:10 if you have any questions, but we are officially done. Thank you for your time, folks.
Thank you. Peter, I have Barbara Gaffrey mentioned that she had a school YouTube channel that she used for teaching, and it was really easy and useful for uploading videos and doing screen sharing with her students on Zoom. Yeah. So share that information with everyone.
Yeah, the password management is one that I definitely want to write about. I think that's, you know, safety first. And then probably the next one. What do you see in the chat? What was the biggest questions, I guess?
Right now, lots of thank yous, and also mentioning that they would love more classes on technology. So
we were going to have a Rotary course on this at Bitwise, and then COVID. I actually had signed up and was granted permission to hold classes at Bitwise, and then we got quarantined. When you upload your videos to YouTube or you watch YouTube, again, you can find us, our YouTube channel, or even North Fresno Rotary. Of course, again.
Peter, I have another question that's come in. It's our club has been using Zoom for our weekly meetings. How do we share the recorded sessions for review with members?
So for Zoom, you should record them and then download them. Again, it will be a raw video, right? So to me, the idea is get the information out. Some members, you know, it's a discussion in the club. But this video here is a slightly edited video where I took out chunks of like the page isn't loading or that. This one is the raw video. And so on this one, when I saw the quality of the video here, I replaced these images with a high resolution photo of her when she spoke. So to me, a lot of ways, you won't have the skill, you won't have the TPP. I have those, but your club may not. So this is the video you would be posting without any assistance. So again, to me, it's better to get the information out, but we also should work toward the idea of improving the quality. There's always going to be the debate, right? Quality over quantity. To me, that's secondary of get the information out, right? But you're going to have to work through that with your leadership as far as like the quality of the video. To me, I would post it, but in my club experience as well, I was practicing with Facebook Live, and a lot of Rotarians didn't like that because the quality wasn't super high because I was learning it. So that's something you're going to want to think about. And then always, 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 always constantly remind people that you're filming. In a lot of ways, I get into discussions of, the public relation, the empathy, all that kind of stuff. I'm IT, so and I'm sports background, so I often say things analytically or like matter of factly, and that causes problems. So with the videos, you have to now you're being seen and heard, and so they can see your body language and your intonations. But I always try to be as me no matter where, which is it's good and bad. So again, when you're doing videos, you have to make sure that people know. And I would not do any videos of children. If you're going to do videos of children projects, shoot from the back so that you see this. And even if you shoot from the back, you get a media release from the school or organization or parent. I mean, again, depending on your people and your process and your tools, I can go to a school, film, but I have the skill to do a blur effect over the faces of kids. You won't. Most likely, your club most likely won't.
So if they have edited versions, they can do clips and whatnot. How do you suggest or where do you suggest that they
so you
post these videos from Zoom?
Yeah.
For members to see.
Yeah, download it from Zoom or GoToMeeting or wherever. Still upload it. Still upload it to YouTube. If you're not sure, of the quality or whatever, or you want help, or it's an important project for you, right? And you want the District 5230 to promote it. You upload it. I'm writing down this because I remember suggested best practices for videos. You upload it to a playlist that's like draft review or not approved or something. You change the visibility. Change the visibility to private or rather unlisted. So review, create, that's the part I missed, create, adding it to that, done. It'll ask you questions. Don't do it for kids, all kinds of problems. Always say no, and don't make videos for kids with the Rotary account. If you have kids in it or it's a child project, again, we're speaking to the administrators of the project, not to the kids. You can't really edit anything here because it's not verified account. It's unlisted, so you can share it with other people in the district that have the link. You can schedule it if you want, but click save. So now that video, oh boy, it's a big one. That video is going to upload. It's going to give me a share link that I can get that and email to whoever I'm going to have edited. This is a process, right? So depending on their tools and their skill level, that person you email, they can get the video offline without having YouTube access. You may need to create a YouTube administrator to share. So again, that's where it gets down the rabbit hole, and it's like a 30-minute conversation. But there's different ways of doing that. The big thing is you can upload it to YouTube without publicizing it and kind of hiding it so only certain people can see it via email link. And then you can say, hey, can the district help us blur this or clean it up? Like a common thing is audio. If you get bad audio, there can't fix it very well, but there's some things we can try to tweak, or throw a sound like a music on top of your video, so like it drowns out the back noise with music, and we can still hear the person talking. There's stuff like that we can do. Blur the picture of the kid or the children, but we won't know unless you tell us. I should have mentioned.
Peter,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I'm just, I think some of the feedback I'm getting is that they understand that YouTube is a great for final product videos. And I think they understand that they could send this and have maybe the district help clean things up to post. But I think some of the people are looking for a place to store this type of stuff as a repository, not necessarily to have it out there just yet, but just some place for storing these large media files.
Yeah, so you can do both. Again, like I just try to show the playlist, so that's review, and the playlist is private, well, unlisted. Or you can go, yeah, you don't want to go private because no one else can see it, so unlisted, and no one will see that except you or the people that you sent the link to. So you can still create an archival online that very few people can see. Having said that, you can, I still do this. Oops. I'm looking for this one. I still do this. I download and store. I'm paranoid. I have 3 backups: cloud, this one, and my computer. But you definitely can use YouTube as a cloud-free storage. Or, again, you can come over here and upload it to your Google Drive folder, and you have 15 gigabytes to do that. You can also load photos to your Google Drive, but that counts against your 15 gig storage. If you use your cell phone and back up your pictures to the Google Photo app, it doesn't count against your storage. So this is free. The problem is it's not, oh no, see, they changed it. So now it's no longer unlimited. Okay, that's new. Before it was unlimited, Now I'm just curious because I didn't notice that before. It may be low res is unlimited, but high res isn't. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. So they changed it. You have 15 gigs of any full resolution pictures now, but you have unlimited low quality photos. Okay, so it's just worded differently now. So that I guess that's the my answer is YouTube still.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, folks. I know Susan has stuff to do. I have stuff to do. You have stuff to do. Last chance. All
We're
right.
getting lots of thank yous, and I think a lot of interest in continuing and getting more tech info. So looks like we should be scheduling some more classes.
Yeah, I enjoy this stuff. I teach at University of Phoenix, Fresno State, Fresno City, and I'm an instructor for fitness and coaching, martial arts stuff. So I like this stuff. And as a geek, it helps me with my social skills that I can chat with you folks. So have a good day.
Okay,
team.
thank you.
Thank you.
And thank everyone for attending.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.